Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So this is my favorites revisited video for February. And if you saw the January version of this video, basically what I'm doing is looking back at my favorites videos from 3 years ago. I made YouTube videos a few years ago, kind of inconsistently, and I had, in 2012, a 6-month span of time where I was making favorites videos every month. So I have favorites videos from January to June, and I thought it would be fun this year from January to June to do a look back and look at those favorites videos and just kind of see, and my opinions on my favorites from 2012 changed? Are they the same? And just kind of reflect back on my old favorites. So I will link the original video, my February 2000 favorites video, below. And I was watching it the other day, and you know how some things just don't change? If you think I'm awkward now, that video was kind of insane. I think I'm much calmer now, which I don't necessarily think my personality is very calm, but I was kind of, I don't know if I had just had a lot of caffeine or sugar or something. I'm like very hyper in that video. So it's kind of funny to watch, but I will link that below for reference, and I'll just get into everything. So back in 2012, like each month I was trying to focus on a different theme in my life, and for February my theme was change. So I had talked about at the beginning of the video some changes I had been implementing in my life. They were very small changes, nothing earth-shattering. I think I had mentioned that I was like switching up the perfumes I'm going to wear. That was a change I was making, which is kind of funny because that's kind of similar to now, like with my bi-weekly makeup bags, where I'm going through like my eyeshadow palette, switching out my blushes, switching out perfume, when I'm not having perfumes in any sort of project. But I'm still kind of that change mentality. I also talked about getting a new pair of shoes for work, which is really funny because I just went shopping and bought a new pair of shoes for work. So I guess February, based on 2 sample periods, is my month of change, which kind of makes sense because for me, like January, you have the holidays, I'm super busy with work. Like this past January, I was sick. I always tend to be super like stressed and busy in January. So I don't really have change to focus. I don't have time to focus on change in January, when you might think at the beginning of the year you're kind of focusing on having new goals and change. So for me, that kind of falls into February, it seems. And in this year, like I went through my closet and did some decluttering, got rid of a lot of different clothes, which makes sense because, at least for me in California, it's been like kind of a weather transitioning month, kind of transitioning from winter into spring. So I always think that's the perfect time to kind of go through my closet. I can kind of look at all my winter clothes and say, okay, what have I not worn in the past few months? What should I maybe pass on? And then I can kind of look at my spring clothes and say, is there anything that I kind of need for the upcoming season? So I think, February for me personally is a great month to be doing that. So I went through my clothes. I also bought some new work clothes. So definitely I'm embracing the change this month. I also went through my makeup. I had posted that video, the makeup I'm getting rid of. I kind of decluttered my makeup collection. So definitely by chance or just by my habits, I definitely am embracing change. So that was kind of interesting to see. So I talked about change first, and then I kind of went into my beauty favorites for the month. The first thing I talked about was my beauty blender. And I think in that video I was like, I had a backup beauty blender, which I still do. I always buy the 2-pack of the beauty blender. And I'm like, I don't want to show you my really dirty one, but I'll show you my really dirty one. It's not the same one. Disclaimer, it's not the same one. But I've been using the beauty blenders, obviously, for over 3 years now. I still really love it. It's how I apply my makeup every day. And I always buy the 2 packs of it to make the price a little better. And I just love the application of it. And it's definitely still a favorite. So my opinion on the beauty blender has remained the same. I still definitely love it. The next item that I talked about was the Maybelline Dream Lumi Concealer. It's the one in like the little click-up pen. And I used to really, really love that product. I think I went through about 2 or 3 of those, and I would just use it kind of underneath where I'd apply. I was using like the Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline, like underneath my eyes, and then I would apply the Dream Lumi like kind of underneath that. So I wasn't really using it to like, I think at one point I was using it under my eyes, but then I started using the 2 products together, and I used the Maybelline one, or the Dream Lumi one, more for kind of brightening. So I did really like it. I think I just have kind of gotten over it. I really didn't like, at some point, like using multiple different concealers, using something in my under my eyes, something for brightening, and then something for blemishes, something separate. It was just like too many different things going on, and I like to keep my makeup like as simple as possible, especially when I'm getting ready in the morning. If I can eliminate a step or a product just to make things simpler, I really do prefer to do that. So I've kind of moved on from the Maybelline Dream Lumi concealer, and now I really love the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This I love because I can use it under my eyes, I can use it on blemishes. It's one product that I can use wherever I need to on my face. I don't need to be using a ton of different things. Sometimes I will use something, my Makeup Forever Extreme Camouflage Cream Concealer, because it is a full coverage concealer. Sometimes I will use that if I have like more, if I'm breaking out a little more, but normally I can just get away with using this all over my face. So definitely this is my new favorite concealer, and you know, I kind of just stopped using the Maybelline one, but you know, I did love it at the time, but definitely my opinion on it, or my preferences for concealer, have definitely shifted. And then the last beauty item that I talked about, I only had a few that I mentioned, but it was a mascara. It was Benefit They're Real, and I really loved it. I think that was the only time. I feel like maybe I might have gone through like 2 full sizes of it. Can't really remember, but I really loved that mascara. But currently, I really don't have a favorite mascara. I get so many of the little like sample size mascaras from like Sephora orders, from like either Point Perks or promo codes, that I don't even know the last time that I actually bought a mascara. I've just been able to use the little samples. Like, I've had so many of the samples that I just like never need to buy mascara. So I'm not exactly sure when that will change. But currently, I'm not super particular about mascaras. I love trying out all the different high-end ones through samples. So I still like They're Real. This one I haven't opened yet, so I'm not going to open it here to show you, but everyone knows what They're Real is like. I really like the brush of They're Real. I still really like it. I just, at the current moment, don't really have like a favorite mascara. I kind of just use whatever I can get. So there is my opinions on that, if that was at all. I don't know. I just don't know what to say about that one. Anyway, so the next thing I talked about, then I kind of went into my non-beauty favorites. The first thing I talked about was Girl Scout cookies, which, of course, I still love Girl Scout cookies. I was a Girl Scout. But I think it was last year when I was just kind of like, I don't know if I had bought too many boxes of it, but I was just sort of like over it. I was like, I don't know if they're worth it. I know it goes to a good cause. My old manager at work, she still works at my work, but she got like a promotion and moved to a different department, so she's no longer my manager, but her daughter was a Girl Scout, and I would always buy cookies from her because I really like buying Girl Scout cookies from like someone I know versus just some random, because they're always like sell the Girl Scout cookies outside of the grocery store, but I'd rather buy it from someone I know and support them. So this year I haven't heard anything from her, so I'm not sure if her daughter is still a Girl Scout. So I'm going to have to ask and find out. But if her daughter is still a Girl Scout, I think I'll buy some cookies from her. Currently, I don't have any. But I think if her daughter's not a Girl Scout, I might not buy them this year. I don't really know. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just buy a few boxes. But before in the past, I would need to buy like, I need this type and this type and this type, and buy like so many boxes, but now I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I really need them anymore. I don't know if they're really worth it, and I know it goes to a good cause, but whatever. I could take them or leave them. The next thing I talked about was the Hunger Games book. So this was in February 2012, and the first Hunger Games movie came out in March 2012. So anticipation of the first book, I had, in anticipation of the first movie, I had reread the first Hunger Games book, and I was really excited for the movie. And since then, I have watched all of the movies. I've loved all the movies. Well, I really liked the first one. I thought the second one was even better. The third movie was kind of boring, actually. I didn't really think they needed to make 2 movies out of the third book. I know that's like the trend now. If there's a trilogy, it has to be 4 movies. I think it worked. In the case of Harry Potter, I think it really worked. I don't think it's necessary for every trilogy to mean that there has to be 4 movies. So I don't really like that trend. If it doesn't make sense, I don't think it's needed. I think it needs to kind of be a case-by-case basis and not like an assumption, oh, let's make more money out of this and make 4 movies. So in the case of Hunger Games, I really don't think they needed to have the third book split up. But anyway, hopefully the fourth movie is actually better than the third movie. But anyway, I still really like Hunger Games. Now, when I watch the movies, I don't feel the need to like reread the book, but I still really like that. And then the last thing I talked about was a movie. It was Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. Very long title. But it's a movie with Elizabeth Olsen, and it was kind of like the first, like, it's more of an independent movie, but it was the first time people were really seeing her in a movie, and she is like Mary-Kate and Ashley's younger sister. And like, I really, really like that movie. I haven't rewatched it since. It's kind of a dark movie. She's like in a cult for part of it, and she's kind of dealing with like the after effects of being in this cult. It's a very intense movie. But I did really enjoy it at the time. But kind of with the like movie favorites, like unless I've rewatched it, I really don't have an updated opinion on it. So that one, my opinion on that is kind of neutral. I haven't rewatched it. I did enjoy it at the time, and I probably would enjoy watching it again at some point. But yeah. So that is everything. Those were all my favorites from 2012, revisited, and my thoughts on them now. Of course, a lot of my thoughts are the same. Some of them have changed. But yeah, I hope you guys found this video interesting, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.